Well, hello everyone. It's a great pleasure again, and it's not always a great pleasure. It's always this excitement to talk about something that brings us back to do another podcast. Each time we publish one episode. The next time we get, we think we should do something new, and that desire and this, the eagerness to create something new on YouTube and for you all to actually listen to is something that drives us to do this podcast. So here we are back again, Lafit Kaur here as well. And this is going to be a special episode because we rarely do it together. We do it with guests often, but both of us do it very rarely. And that's ironic because both of us have started the podcast. So keeping that aside, today we are going to talk about something we both love doing, and that is traveling. And guess what, guys? So we actually met up again in April, and it's almost going to be 2 months in a week or so since we made a trip. And guess where we went to? We went to the capital of national capital, which is New Delhi. But we ended up exploring Old Delhi, and that's the whole crux of the podcast. So we actually planned on catching up a lot of times, but after December when we last caught up, we actually had this plan of meeting up somewhere in some corner of India where it's accessible for us to go and meet. Right, Lafayette?
I mean, ever since I came back from Hyderabad, I mean, I did not think of it like that, but it actually turned out to be super emotional for me. I mean, after that, I was like not able to stay here at peace, to be honest. I mean, we met in Hyderabad, then I went to Hyderabad after 5 years and 5.5 years. And I did not think it would turn out to be so amazing. After coming back, I was just crying on calls, guys. I was just crying. I want to meet back again. I want to come back to Hyderabad again. Or you guys travel, towards this side, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, then we thought, since we both love traveling and the COVID thingy was kind of getting slower and there was like no news updates until the day Pawan had to take a flight, there was no news about COVID at all. The day he had to take a flight, literally news started streaming, there are new cases found in Delhi and this and that. And we're like, excellent, this happens every time to us, but the trip went super amazing. And you guys have been bombarding us with messages, not all of you, but then some of our very close friends, like, you guys met again? Wow, because this time we tried to keep it a secret until we actually met. So the first time anybody got to know that I'm meeting Pawan is when I actually met him at the airport, like kind of picked him up from the airport and put his picture straight up on my Instagram. Like this, like literally like this, while he was sipping on some coffee, I guess. So that is when people realize that, okay, they've met again and it's like too early to meet this time, because that's how we meet. We don't meet for 4 years, then we meet twice in 1 year. And now we are hoping we meet every single day, every single hour. They just pray for us, we end up in one city. But then, yeah, I decided on Delhi only because it's safe. I mean, easy to travel. Number two, it's close to my place.
Shabbas beta. Bahut badhiya.
And I could not come back to South so easily. I was all occupied in my thesis and stuff. And three, Pawan always wanted to explore Delhi, but for some reason, his stay in Delhi was always very short, very formal most of the times. And also, you go to Delhi and that rush, that traffic, that life that's happening there, you just need time to sit and explore that, But the bad part was, Pawan came to explore Delhi in 2 days. And as a North Indian, my challenge was to actually make him explore and make him feel Delhi in 2 days.
And that was actually a success. That was actually a success.
You've barely been to Delhi, right, Pawan? Just twice or thrice?
Yeah.
Yeah? So he's been to Delhi just twice or thrice. And I, on the other hand, lived in Delhi for 6 long years. And then, of course, even though I personally, I am inclined towards South of India because of many reasons. But then I can't change the fact that I'm a North Indian, you know. So, so I kind of understand Delhi vibe much better, and I am like a very frequent visitor of Delhi. So a lot of you actually keep pinging me on Instagram saying, "How often do you go to Delhi, bro? Why do you go to Delhi?" Like, bro,
It's like
I got
it's
work
like
in Delhi.
it's like for those who are listening, it's more like me. If you have been a resident of Hyderabad, I can give you an analogy to this. So once a week we go from my place to Secunderabad, and because it's on the other side, the other end of Saint Sagar Lake. So it's like traveling from one end of the city to the other, almost traveling, or those who are traveling between Hyderabad and Vijayawada. You know how it is, right? How often people go between the one city to the other. And it's like, God, it's just like once a while, Lovepreet comes up and says, I'm going to Delhi. I'm like, what is there in that in Delhi that you go so often? But then there are reasons for her to go, and it's part of her work, etc. But this time
Yeah.
we made it, we made sure it would be more to explore Delhi, because I did not explore Lovepreet, and this, I had this incomplete, the last two trips that I made to Delhi were very
Desire.
incomplete.
So just to give you a context, Delhi is very close to Pawan's heart. You know, inverted
Maybe.
commas. Those who are listening,
So,
those who are listening
probably.
can predict, and those who are watching, they can clearly read it on my face. And those who know Pawan, they just drop a heart down, down below in the comments. Okay, guys, we know how much Pawan loves Delhi, but unfortunately could never be a part of it.
Yes, so that's a reference only a few people know. And yes, so we started off somewhat, so the planning something and executing it in just trying to go and visit a big city in just 2 days is a task, is a very big challenge. So somehow we pulled it off by first, the first day was very normal, because we sort of went to Delhi and there was
How can you go to the first day? Bro, our trip was 2 days and our planning was nice 20 days. So basically on Pawan's side, there was like tozzle happening every now and then. So he was basically on his period and he was completely doing mood swings. Okay. One day he'll be like, yeah, bro, I want to come and I'm coming. The second he'll be like, bro, I'm reconsidering, bro, just coming, bro. I'm just planning out. I just need to book the tickets. This guy did not book his tickets until I guess 1 week before the actual trip. But we started watching food vlogs and travel vlogs 20 days in advance and preparing a list of where we have to go. Like legit, guys, legit. Despite knowing Delhi so much, this something you'll always miss. Every single lane of Delhi has something special in it. And this time around, I guess the most fascinating thing for us, giving you a spoiler already, was that Chandni Chowk, Pawan, that Chavri Bazaar kulfi thingy. God, we researched about it so much and we luckily found it. Like from street to street, we went specially to find that kulfi wala and try that kulfi out. And that's probably the most bizarre and the less known thing that we ate. And 0 degrees was our spot, bro. Could not play 0 degrees. If you are a Delhi resident, please visit that place. I'm sure you must have already visited that place. It's so freaking popular and always full. And I remember having multiple meals there, right? Right, Pawan?
right till the last day.
Right till the last day when you would not be, when like, can't decide, let's go to 0 degrees, bro.
That place has got a nice vibe. But the point being is that we actually, if I look at Delhi from the travels that I've made, that the earlier two occasions were, one was just in the heart of Lutyens, Delhi, next to the Vice President's house in Vigyan Bhavan. That area, I got some idea, some inkling of what and how that Lutyens area is and how it is situated. And also a very ancient step well, which is called as Agrasan Ki Bhavani, which is in Janpat, close to Janpat, if I'm not wrong. That I had visited earlier, but then I didn't visit Red Fort or any other major parts of Delhi. Be Chandni Chowk, which is just the main lane. Chandni Chowk, for those who do not know, was the main lane of Delhi during the Mughal period. At least when it was conceived by Shah Jahan, the road opposite Red Fort is what is known as Chandni Chowk. It's a very big lane going all the way to the other end of that part, which is Old Delhi. For those who do not know, actually was built during Shah Jahan's time. So actually existed as a certain settlement with a fort, some sort of a fort being there already. But later, when Shah Jahan became the emperor, he added fortifications to it and he made it into what is known as the Red Fort. So, after all, taking a look at this kind of, so Chandni Chowk has, a lot of importance is given to Chandni Chowk from the Sikh history. I will tell you. And the other parts of Delhi, the best part about Delhi is the metro, the connectivity, and it's very well planned in that sense. Otherwise, metro usually isn't so often planned in a very in that fashion. You had this proper lines coming up in different, and it's ubiquitous. So it's every part of Delhi you go, there's a metro line that links you to some part of the city or the other, and that is what we need in other cities as well. Coming to another point, which I loved about Delhi, this style of walking around and exploring is the best part. You have the metro, but then you walk around a lot, and that does the job for you. You travel around, you walk around, and you click some pictures, but then you're also reminded of some historical aspect, some history about something or the other. We have the Parathe Wali Gully, where we actually had a raw deal, but then I loved the paratha, right? So it was a good one.
I mean, people, I guess half of the people who know us personally, they kind of already felt I did like a mini vlog on Instagram stories. And to give you a context, I'm not very active on Instagram. It's those, lucky days, few days when I'm like extremely happy and I start putting stories like anything, the dot thing actually happens on my stories. It's the rarest of rare event. And that happened when I was in Delhi. I was putting up updates of every single gully and stone that we saw, like literally. And, I guess what worked best for us guys were two things. One, of course, there was lot of planning involved. I won't say that we planned bit by bit, but we knew exactly what we wanted to see. We had a list and we knew that we want to strike off at least these many items from this list, which included, of course, food and, of course, a lot of monuments and places that Pawan wanted to visit because, of course, Pawan's inclination towards knowing the history, knowing the culture is much more than mine. But then that balance was there. I am more inclined to doing fun things when I'm on the trip. Pawan is more inclined to capturing moments, raw moments that he can write blogs on, that he can probably put up on, his Instagram and tell people the history of. Like, you just observe that. So that mix was there. Second thing that worked out really well for us was that we were accompanied by one of my friends, a common friend, Harman, who's like a great, great friend of mine. And of course, he knows Pawan as well. And he was with us in Hyderabad as well. So to have that support sort of a thingy, and Pawan and I could get pictures only because there was Harman. If that was not the case, then probably we would not be having even one picture from Delhi. That's one real thingy. But then that support system definitely is there. There's a lot of backward planning that goes, and then a lot of, another thing is go with an open heart, so whenever you plan for this was a very, very little trip, Delhi, very known city, very connected city, nothing adventurous about it, right? But when it comes to you going on adventurous trips, for example, our dear friend Sameer is right now on a solo trip to Hampi. Okay, that's something that you can call adventure, especially when you're all alone, right? So in that case, I would say what really will help you is go with an open heart, but have a plan in your head, so that you know what you want to visit. But then when you visit that place, then you're also enjoying the vibe of that place. We gave into so many things when we were there. Like we randomly went for the mandir stride on the second day early morning, after which we just randomly felt like eating somewhere. Go ahead, enjoy, So I feel that's the thing that really kind of works for you. What do you think, Pawan?
Lavpreet, can you tell the viewers about what is the importance of Chandni Chowk? At least,
of course.
What is the main location there? What is
Chandni Chowk has a very popular Gurdwara, which I'm sure everyone knows. So basically, there's Sheesh Ganj Sahib Gurdwara, opposite which there is Red Fort. So these are the two highlights of Chandni Chowk. Of course, other things like parante wali gali, kachori wala uncle, and then all sorts of kulfis and rabris and those sharbat and everything is popular there. So Shishganj Gurdwara Sahib has a very vivid history. The ninth Guru of Sikhs, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, was beheaded there. He was martyred there, and then Gurdwara Rakabganj Sahib, which is also a very popular Gurdwara in Delhi, that is where he was cremated. And this place holds a very, very, very important place in the hearts of all the Sikhs, and rather I would say the entire Indian population, which is why Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was also called Hind Di Chadar, right? That title was given to him because he not only sacrificed his life for the faith, the religion, the for the whole community of Sikhs, but he also kind of always supported those who were downtrodden, who were looked upon, who were not treated well, who were the victims of partiality or crime and a lot of hate from the communities which were higher in position, as they would call it, right? So that's why his sacrifice is considered one of the greatest sacrifices, and not just the Sikh community, but all the people in India, all the other communities in India regard him as one of the greatest martyrs, and which is why that place is super important, super serene. And once you go there, you feel that rhythm. Like Pavan also felt it there. Automatically, there'll be tears coming out of your eyes, or you'll feel that energy, to just get up and just do something, And even if you go there completely hopeless, I'm sure when you come back, you're going to come with a lot of positive emotions, and you're going to come back with a lot of, uh, you know, some willpower to start doing something good. That's kind of the vibe there.
So,
Pawan, if you could tell how you felt there, I mean, what was your experience in that place?
well, since I had visited pretty much the most, barring Amritsar, at least I've covered in Fatehgarh Sahib, I've covered the main Gurudwaras, which also have one of them being a place where the younger sons of Guru Gobind Singh were bricked alive. And that's a very poignant, I would say, poignant moment in the history of Sikhs and Hindus, and during in the Mughal period. So, having seen those places and I got I got the whole idea of how this would have been in those times. So, taking it from there, when I visited Seshganj, and earlier I had also visited the other two which you mentioned, which was Bangla Sahib as well, and
And
Rakabganj. This is next to the parliament, if I'm not wrong. It's just located next to the Parliament of India. So this one was a very something I was looking forward to, because I was always eager to know what was there in Seshganj. I didn't visit this place earlier. So this time when I visited, the first thing of you're asked to tie this turban sort of a thing on the scarf for us, because we don't
scarf.
wear
You
turban.
cover the hair as a regard.
And that was and after done a little bit of the whole area over there, that was very where people are actually volunteering almost on a daily basis and helping others out and managing the whole the complex of the whole Gurudwara complex is something that I can never forget, and that is something we should also bring about in managing temples in the Hindu fold. That is how you build temples and protect them and manage them and run the administration. So that is something I really find very amazing, because otherwise you can't expect government to come and handle all these. It's not their job anyway. So that was that, and then when I entered the whole the complex, then where we sat down for some time, and then you have to go underground a little to the basement and then go out. That sort of gave me this powerful, uh, it was a little bit, it was something I can't explain in words, because to even try to describe it in words is a little bit difficult. I'm finding it hard to find words to point it out, because imagine a person who is regarded as a guru of a sect or a religion or a community, let's take it that way. He's beheaded for not only following his own religion, but also trying to rescue others. So the main reason Guru Tegh Bahadur was beheaded was because he asked for the release of Kashmiri Pandits and to control conversions and basically keep a check on conversions that were happening at that point of time. So he even voiced out his support for Kashmiri Pandits, who even till today are having a problem in Kashmir. This is their homeland. So imagine a person sacrifices for the good of everybody else, and then you have this continuing cultures in those days to actually, serve people, and that's the whole point, that's the whole essence of Sikhism, as I know, and as you told me about it, and as I experienced it there. So that is something very enriching, and that was a very nice experience. I would say it's difficult to put in words, but to put it, I would put it very conservatively. Say nice because it's not more. That
Yeah.
would be my point. And then I also wanted to say that the moment we came out of Seedhi, there was also a Hanuman Jayanti procession going on, and that was an absolute symbolism. Like, look at it. People are coming, volunteering, and then going about and their own festivals and their own in the same area without. It's a
I think
mutual
Delhi, yeah,
coexistence.
this is
That was
something you'll observe very, very often in Delhi, the way communities coexist in Delhi. And, morning we went to this mandir, which I don't
Birla
remember
Mandir,
the name.
Birla Mandir in Mandir Marg, Birla Mandir.
No, we went to Birla Mandir, and we went to another temple which had a very similar structure to Tirupati Balaji. And I
It's
know that because
basically it's a TTD temple in Tirupati in Delhi, which is run by the TTD.
yes. So, I mean, I was fascinated by the structure, and Pawan keeps sending me picture whenever he goes there, So I was like, oh God, this looks exactly the same. So, they, in one of the mandirs, if I'm not wrong, the TTD one only, we got this prasad, okay, which was more of rice and dahi and a few spices, if I'm not wrong.
For if since you'll not be able to pronounce this properly, I'll give the viewers this thing. It's called Dadyodhanam, which is
Yeah,
basically a mixture of curd, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice, sweet sugar, a little bit of spice, and curd. It's basically curd rice with a little bit of sugar and spice.
Yeah. So we saw that, we saw mosques, we saw Gurudwara. And one common thing, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to make this podcast sound so, spiritual and all. But then just to give you a closing line on this, I mean, if we start expressing our experience and gratitude towards how beautiful and how, I mean, what should I say, how special we felt visiting each of these mandirs or gurdwaras or mosques, regardless, I mean, can't put it in words, but one thing is common, guys. I mean, you will always observe that purity, that serenity from any of these places you go. So the common thing is that all these places, they teach us to be united, they teach us to be together, they teach us to be respectful towards each other and to be accommodating, which is less of a trait that we guys have learned, from our religions. We are not very accommodating, but they teach us to be accommodating. There's an interculture that you'll observe. There's Sikhs in mandirs, and I went to a mandir and I absolutely enjoyed that feeling, how it was and how it felt. So at the core of it, it's all the same. We are all just we all just taught to be humans more than anything else. And that I guess added a very beautiful element to our Delhi trip. And now, I mean, let's come out of this, Pawan. Now let's come to the fun part, I guess.
What did we do then? We took this metro from there. We went to National Rail Museum in Chanakyapuri.
Oh, that was awesome.
And
so after the morning mandir trip, we went to Connaught Place, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Connaught Place.
No, we had a breakfast.
How did I miss that? We went to Saravana Bhavan in Jampat and we explored Jampat a little bit.
We had
Palika Bazaar.
Amazing South Indian breakfast. Amazing.
I was told that there is the best South Indian food one could get. Hold on, please. It's not just Saravana Bhavan, but some place which is somewhere in Faridabad. That's what I was told. But since we couldn't go to Faridabad, there you go, guys. The podcast host is expecting me to go to Delhi again for that. Okay, let's see. Next time I go there, I'll definitely make that place available.
Next time we are going to the other side of Delhi, bro. Enough of old Delhi now. Next time we're going to explore the NCR region.
Probably. Yeah, we didn't explore that last time.
Gurgaon has the most amazing nightlife. Small, 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 small
And there's
cafes.
one part in Connaught Place which I really loved. There was a small eatery, which is like once as you cross the road and from the Statesman building in CP, you go towards Janpat. So there was a small lane in between where we got this place. We found this place called Deepal. It's a
Yeah.
and a bakery. So I was like, let's go, let's try
Awesome
that.
coffee.
And
Must
that
try,
was the
guys. Must
best
try.
cold coffee I've had in my life so far.
Entire life.
It's so good and just on the right taste and the right amount of coffee
Yeah.
mixture. And I can't forget it. I want to go there again.
Awesome. Seriously. And today is this, I don't know if you're listening to us today and this goes up today, which is like very likely not going to happen because we're recording at 10 p.m. right now. But if it happens, and today is espresso, the birthday of the inventor of espresso machines. And since morning, coffee has been on our head. So yeah, now that you reminded me of Deep Paul's, Pawan, I hate you. You have to come back now.
So we went to Deepal and from there we went to Saravana Bhavan. And after Saravana Bhavan, there are many museums in Delhi and in every city, but you don't get a rail museum so often. And there's a national rail museum at the heart in this area called Chanakyapuri, which is the diplomatic enclave. You have all these embassies everywhere as you go on the road. And then you have a small gate which says National Rail Museum. The moment you enter it, it's full of these old, beautiful locomotives. And
we'll draw the pictures here and you can see. I mean, guys.
Yeah, the picture will be coming up right here. And it was beautiful. As a train lover and as someone who's been interested in traveling in trains and even looking out at different kinds of locomotives that came up over the years since the first locomotive in England. The one that came up I was like really stunned by that because I saw one of the coaches that was on display was the coach used by the Maharaja of Mysore, and likewise Bhavnagar, Baroda, and the list was endless. One was even Maharaja Hari Singh, Kashmir, Kingdom of Kashmir coach, and Patiala State Mountain Railway, motor railway.
Yo, Patiala.
No, and guys, and Lafi, if you know, I looked it up later. I learned that later that Patiala's the coach that we saw there, PSMT, was actually tramway. You had a tram in Patiala. That was actually used for transporting, of course, people as well as a little bit of goods within the city and a little bit of across the Patiala state that was existing.
You see, guys, Patiala was the inventor of metro.
So that
metro had it long. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. I love irritating you, Pawan. He'll go into depth of this topic now only because he loves trains.
No, not really. And everybody, we loved it actually. You have to be honest about it. That area was like, that museum was like really worth checking it out because you have the first locomotive that was manufactured in India is on display there, and you have the first there was one of these prototypes which was bought from England and put on display. So many
guys. Since we're talking about locomotives and vehicles, one small heads up I would like to give you. We planned on renting Activa or scooty or whatever and then traveling going about the city, but that as a plan failed for us for multiple reasons. One, that where we were staying was not very close to where these scooties we get on rent. The second reason was all the organized, whatever companies we were trying to contact, they had either one vehicle available or they had one available at a particular time. So we were having a lot of issues booking those vehicles. So if at all you're planning to go there and you want to ride by yourself, you want to book scooties and all, we would suggest you go ahead and do it early on. And the website does not always work well. So you better contact the organization. Sometimes the website shows you 100 options while they only have one scooty to give you. So we needed 2 because we were 3 people, and Delhi does not work on triply, bro. Does not. So we had to get 2 scooties, and we would have lost a lot of time just getting them and dropping them back at their locations, which is why we opted out and we decided this time on, let's do it on public transportation. But if you like us and you like to do it, on your rented vehicles, etc., our recommendation is go ahead and look up for it and book it in advance before you even reach there. Second experience that I would like to share with you is that although the hotel where we stayed was like super, what do you call it, a cooperative, and was very, sort of, it was
Decent.
very easy
It was very decent.
yeah, very decent and very easy to work with. But what happens sometimes is that some people suggested us to go for Airbnb or something like that. So we personally did not find it very easy to go about that process because there was no surety. We did not have the contact number of the owner. We did not have any details of the owner as such. So whatever you're looking for, keep your requirements very well put in front of them already. So last minute we had changes in our plans and we had to last minute, kind of make a lot of different changes. But since our staff was very, very helpful, we did not face any problems, to be honest. We did not lose time at all in this regard. But if you are going there and you don't know how to go about this process, regardless of whatever city you're going, check it out online, do a lot of research. Pawan did that for me. He made sure that we were living in a safe place. We were living in a place which was not like, unsafe in both terms, in terms of robbery, etc., and in terms that they had a girl with them, right? Those things. And third, make sure you're living in a connected place. Don't go and start living in like a book hotel in somewhere in the edge of the city from where you have to always spend many bucks to come to the center of city in the first place. So live in a place which is super well connected, has a metro station nearby, and from where you can navigate to all sides of the city very easily. Yeah.
From there, I think, and that is why from this point I wanted to add that this is the reason metro in Delhi is the best option to go around, and nothing like Delhi's public transport, at least when it comes to metro. So
there were a few places where we felt, that we could rather go on an Ola, and that would kind of cost us less and especially time, because we had time constraint. That was our main, thing. The main saving point for us was time. Some places we definitely went ahead with Ola or Uber, but undoubtedly metro is super efficient and it can connect you to one edge of the city to the other edge of the city within minutes. Like, you sort
absolutely,
it. Delhi traffic can really get you mad.
And then also there's a very nice experience we had. Okay, after covering the rail museum, we had to cover 2 places. One was the Jama Masjid area, which Lapreet was very eager to show me. And Jama Masjid area is where you had what is known as that was actually the area where Delhi was originally located during the Mughal period, at least from Shah Jahan's time. It was called Shah Jahanabad. It was a walled city of Shah Jahanabad with all these, whatever folks in Delhi, if you go to these places and find these names of Kashmiri Gate, Ajmeri Gate, Lahori Gate and all, you find that they're actually the parts of the original walled city of Red Fort, where the original Red Fort was, the original Delhi was existing. Now it's a mega city. So all these are outposts of that old city. So Jama Masjid was something I wanted to check out because
we went to Jama Masjid in Ramzan, guys. So you know that it's all the more mesmerizing.
Crowd was, oh my god, but then that was like a really nice experience.
I mean, it's once in a lifetime opportunity for non-Muslims at least who don't go to the mosque or Jama Masjid in Ramzan or on the Eid day. But for us, it was a once in a lifetime experience. There was mad crowd. So I went to Jama Masjid even before Ramzan. Like I went there in the previous trip of Delhi. Like before this trip, there was another work trip that I made, in which I went to Jama Masjid, and I tried something called Sharbate Mohabbat there, which
Can
was
you translate what it means?
Sharbate Mohabbat. I mean,
translation, please.
Everyone understands that, bro. What is the translation for it? Sharbat remains Sharbat. Mohabbat is love. So, a Sharbat made with love.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Sharbat in English also, for God's sake. Okay, so guys, there were 2-3 highlights of Jama Masjid. I pushed these guys to, go there. for multiple reasons. The main one being, of course, Sharbat-e-Mohabbat. But then since we went there in Ramzan, we could see like so many different things, you know. There was mad rush. There was no space to walk, like absolutely no space to walk. For those who eat non-vegetarian, since we are both vegetarians, we only had Harman with us who was a non-vegetarian. You guys, that's a heaven for you. Trust me. You need to go there and you need to try the non-vegetarian cuisines that's there. Only because I'm a foodie, I could smell and make an estimate of how yummy that could be. But then, of course, I could not taste it. For vegetarians also, there are like enough options. You know, there's this sweet shop on the edge of where you get Sharbat-e-Mohabbat, which you get everywhere. So I don't know how to like pinpoint it, but maybe if I have a picture, I'll put it here. That sweet shop has the best, gulab jamun, and they have the best khandvi also, which I tried once. So, things like these. If you are somebody who's a super foodie person, the lane right in front of Jama Masjid and the lane parallel to Jama Masjid, the market lane, both of the places are full of, street shopping items. A lot of itar is there.
It's a chor bazaar also. There's a chor bazaar also over there. You have all
that
these...
I'm not...
right in front of Jama Masjid, in that area, you have a
that's
big
a chor bazaar.
Hmm?
We picked up fragrances from there, I remember, because of course, you go to a mosque and you don't pick up a fragrance, it's like next to...
Means,
you go to a place...
In other words, it means atar.
Atar, yeah. They have the most beautiful fragrances and natural fragrances. So we picked up that from there. And we had Sharbat-e-Mohabbat, we had biryani. I had egg biryani.
And we headed to Purana Killa. We didn't check out Purana Killa much, but then we went from there to Chandni Chowk in the night, Chowri Bazaar and Chandni Chowk. And those places
that Chowri Bazaar kulfi, guys, Jamun kulfi. Like, I can't forget that taste has automatically come on my nerve taste buds again. It's original Jamun kulfi, guys. I mean, wow. Awesome.
And that place was like, it reminded me of this Koti area in Hyderabad, which is always having all these kind of stuff. But that's the vibe of Delhi. You know, you have all sorts of options. You have this.
If you're from Hyderabad, Jama Masjid will remind you of Charminar, just to give you a context, and Chowri Bazaar will remind you of Koti. And then
there are other places, but then for me, prominent was similar to Koti in terms of that, round clock, and even Dilsukh Nagar markets. It's almost similar. But from there, the next day we moved on to, we went to Red Fort. And Red Fort was a nice experience because for two of us, it was the first time.
Because Amar and Pawan were the first time visitors of Red Fort. And I was their very unsuccessful guide.
I think the Red Fort is also, when you walk through the walls of Red Fort, you're reminded of this, at least you get this vibe, or you try to imagine how it would have been at least prior to 1857 revolt. And you find out I actually later digged out records and found that there was hardly anything beyond the walls of Red Fort. Whoever the emperor was there, he used to live only within that confines because of British supremacy. And then I started digging back onto the whole Mughal history and how Red Fort came into existence. And then I realized that whatever you see of Red Fort was actually already existing in a very different fortification. But once it was added, this was the grandeur of Red Fort. And then it's a very, covering Delhi in the I would say, in 2 short days, I mean, let's say 2.5 days, was not just very interesting, tiring, no doubt. But you have to rest,
but then morning and we would come back only after midnight. Like the last day, I remember we went to have dinner all the way till Rohini, like all the way back to, I guess,
while we stayed near Jhandewala.
Yeah. So like all the way back just to have dinner in one special place, but that was not so special. Nonetheless,
and how can and wait, there's something else you forgot. Okay, the April period, April was movie season. Okay, everybody was releasing movies, but then the most awaited movie came, which was Triple R, which was released in.
That was the first night, guys. That was the first day.
That was the first day, but then yes, we missed it out. So I already watched Triple R in Telugu, but I was really keen on watching it in Hindi. So how was Tripla for you, Lovepreet?
Oh God, guys, I can't tell you. So I'm not a very, not a movie bug, to be very honest. But then the first day when we went to Delhi, we reached by, I mean, Pawan came to Delhi in the morning itself, but by the time we settled and freshened up, it was already almost afternoon. So we decided to go for a lunch to a far off place. And we then also decided to watch a movie because we were like, anyway, in that kind of a heat, we did not want to go out. We thought we'll never go out, but apparently the next 2 days we were grilled, like literally tandoori paneer was made out of us in the next 2 days. But the first day we played very safe and like, let's go and watch a movie, guys, sort of AC and all, 3 hours fun chill. But even that turned out to be almost in the evening. And fun fact, I just slept at the table where we went to eat. These guys were just looking at me and I actually dozed off on that table before watching the movie. So I was not prepared for it. Okay, already it's not a Bollywood movie. I don't know what to expect from it. But the moment that movie started, like even for 1 second, it did not, like, it captured my brain like that even for 1 second, I was not like, no, absolutely not. Such a fascinating movie. Absolutely loved the vibe. Luckily, the cinema hall, the theater was also very, it had a very nice vibe to it. The environment was like superb and it felt like a luxurious, the feel was luxurious. It was so good that in that moment, in that impulsive moment, we spent like what, 1,400 bucks on just popcorn and Coke. So like, we were enjoying it so like, let's capture this moment forever. Even if we don't remember the movie, we'll at least remember spending 1,400 rupees for popcorn.
Music.
So guys, jokes apart, but we like took a big mug of this not even a mug, actually a bucket of popcorn, and we grabbed like huge Pepsi during the interval, and we all sorted the next part of it we will watch. And I would say I enjoyed every single bit of it. What great work it was. And I got the confidence of starting to watch movies after that, to be very honest, and I'm eagerly waiting for the next such movie to come up, and I'm going to go and watch it. Thanks, Pawan.
You have to watch the other movies of the same director, at least.
Yes,
the
we actually
major.
recorded a little, very informal and shitty voice review that we might just put in here. The clip, you remember, Pawan, with Harman and you and me.
Yes.
We're gonna add it here. You guys can see our like live reaction, like the immediate reaction after watching the movie.
సరే తరలే ఎన్నెన్నో అనుకుంటాం అన్నీ జరుగుతాయి ఏమిటి
And then that was an interesting experience because the movie is based in Delhi. We watched it in Delhi, and I think we were the only ones who were like whistling and all our way out because I didn't find that reaction, at least in
we were in a sophisticated crowd. Yeah, we were in a sophisticated crowd,
and for those of us who watch it here in Hyderabad or anywhere in South, movies means whistling, screaming, tearing paper sheets and throwing it in the air, and then just cheering and dance. When songs like Natu Natu and the other one came, those
crazy.
In the theater that I went to,
We
and then
that step, bro. We even you guys won't believe we were literally doing Natu Natu in the metro, and everyone was looking at us like, what the hell is wrong with these guys?
Thank you, Rajmouli Garu, for that. Such a movie, such a nice movie. Thank you, Rajmouli Garu.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Loved it. And we had plans of clubbing that day. Now we thought we'll just not get drunk because Pawan does not drink. I don't drink. Harman also does not drink a lot, only occasionally. I don't know if this information was to be revealed or not. We just wanted to go clubbing to dance our hearts out. That's it. But after watching this movie, like, arey bro, let's just go and grab a good dinner. And where would we go? We went to 0 Degrees. By the way, I'll tell you how I came across 0 Degrees. So the day the day I went to Delhi, I came to Delhi a day before Pawan. So basically, my trip was 4 days. His trip was 3 days. He went back on 3rd day. I went back on the 4th day. Okay. The first day, why I came to Delhi a day before was it was my very, very cute and close friend's birthday from my childhood. Like we were friends since class 4 or 5, and it was her birthday on 14th of April, and she really wanted me to be a part of her birthday. And this would have happened if I would be a part. That would have happened after what, 7, 8, 10 years straight up. And I became a part of it, which is the best thing. So I probably might add a picture here. And yeah, I mean that she hosted a party in 0 degrees. That's where I came across 0 degrees, and after which I was like, Pavan, Harman, you guys need to go to 0 degrees. And
There
after that,
can't be a
looking at
better place. That was a really, really.
that
I-
bottle, what was that called? I forgot. Breezer. No, not a breezer. Sorry. I'm so sorry. What was that?
That was a watermelon juice system.
Some huge test tube sort of a bottle came, bro, and that liquid. I will probably add pictures here. Pawan fell in love. Absolutely. And I was already in love, And we had the best pizza there, which was heart-shaped and also amazing.
I wish 0 degrees, zero guys. If anybody who manages 0 degrees is listening to this, please open a branch in Hyderabad at least.
You opened in Patiala, but that's not fair, guys. It does not taste the same at all.
And
But
since
Delhi was
we are
really
going
overboard bit time.
really-
So sorry, guys.
and no, I think people need to get that feel of traveling and talking about that trip.
But guys,
This is
I'll tell you
such
one thing.
attempt.
We don't know how many of you like traveling, how many of you are like the solo travelers, how many of you like to travel in groups. But yeah, one thing is for sure, when you have the right people with you, in the worst place, even a jungle without electricity and a place where there's no network can feel the most amazing, let alone a city like Delhi, which is like, ah, ha, 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 all the time, But then, yeah, it was, to sum it up, I would just say it was good people, good time. And those 3 days, I was completely off everything else in life, work, education, academic, everything. And it
Except
was just
social media.
I had to do that. Come on, But yeah,
And
I mean,
no, the it was also it was not just covering Delhi. What was on my bucket list? Flying to Delhi, flights are something I've done so many times that I am like,
yes, we forgot.
I'm
to talk
I'm coming to that. Now, one thing that I always wanted to do, if it was with regard to Delhi, was not just visiting Delhi, but visiting it in train. So since I could not go on train till Delhi, I came back on train, and I came in the Rajdhani, which took almost a day. I started in the afternoon in Delhi, and I reached the next afternoon in Secunderabad. And what an experience, man! Passing through some, and there was one instance where I actually.
I could share WhatsApp chats of what that experience felt like, because those 24 hours, this guy was constantly telling me stories.
The passengers around me were really interesting characters, and I don't want to talk about
I
what
just
they
hope they
did
come
there.
across this podcast, bro.
It's not.
just
It's not. But it was very interesting to see that, because I'm not accustomed to seeing such things, at least in the trains in down south. But that was a really nice characters, and it was fun. It was fun watching that. It was like Indian train experience. Because not trains. So taking trains from North India, how does it feel like? It's not a stereotype that I'm making here, but it was fun because there were athletes around, chatting around. It was fun talking to people around completely. And the train journey is something I loved a lot, because we were passing from from Delhi via Jhansi, Bhopal, Indore, and I mean all the places. I even passed through Nagpur early in the morning, and I didn't know that. And then when I was reaching Secunderabad, it came via Kazipet and Warangal, which is like the hub of the Kakatiya kingdom, and I saw Red Fort there, and then I came to the heart of the Kakatiya kingdom, I'm like, when I was passing through that, the only thought was I covered the places where all the major dynasties have lived and set up their capital: Bhopal, Gwalior, Indore, Nagpur.
and I guess Pavan
and
was
the main
all
one
set to establish a capital now after that.
Let me become prime minister.
Probably in Bangalore.
Probably. So the strange journey from north to south is something once in a lifetime, or maybe I do it later again a lot of other many other times. But then this was like a really nice travel, and Indian Railways was actually really good. And then of course they pampered me with every 2 hours. They were giving me food and some juice or some food or the other, some snack, some
Well,
dinner.
treatment, man. Treatment.
And then they just pampered me. Okay, so I was like really.
I'll give you a reference, guys. If you want to know in detail about why train journeys are better than flights, go and watch Rahul Dua's videos on Why train journeys are better? You'll get every reason Pawan loved train journey more than the flight.
And then to sum it up from my end, I think passing through Chambal Valley just after Delhi, there used to be a traitors then where you used to have the dacoits around. From there you come to the plains of between the Vindhyas. You pass through Jhansi and then you pass through Bhopal, and then you are like wondering, are you actually? And there was one instant when I actually looked up at the map. I'm located and my location is somewhere in the middle of India. And that's literally in the middle between north and south. And that was like a very okay. I'm in the middle of India. Okay, let me go. Can I get down there? And then I had this thought, but then I was like, no, foolish. You'll get down. You'll miss your train now. You'll just get down your train. What's the point of taking it to Secunderabad? You can get down in Nagpur itself. I actually thought of this, but then I was
Tom would be at peace today.
so that's about our Delhi trip, guys. So
We can go on and
we
on and on and on.
we actually wanted to write down about it. We are actually doing that. Once the blog is up, once the whole thing is written, and we'll publish it for you all to see. And till then,
Meanwhile, enjoy this one, us telling our
till
experiences.
then, I can't stop talking about it. But then I want to stop now because we have
So
talked a lot
honest.
about it. It can actually
Yes.
go into 2 episodes if we see this. So I want
So
to
guys, if you
conclude
like,
here.
if you like such candid episodes where we talk about, our real life experiences or what happens like in our personal lives, although it's not like, I know it's not the most interesting thing to hear what goes on in our personal life, but then these kind of things, these kind of experiences, if it helps you learn something or if it just gives you some sort of happiness, do let us know in the comment section below, and we'll be more than happy to, capture all our trips together. Hopefully we're going to have many, many, many of those in the upcoming months. And
Fingers
yes, we're going to
crossed.
capture. Definitely.
And on that note, I hope you all liked our travel experiences of Delhi. And if you had any nice, weird, or crazy experiences visiting Delhi, do let us know in the comments below. And until then, see you again. This is Seedhi Baat. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Dhanyavad.